Could somebody please make it make sense?
Hey y'all, so I am back with another video today, and today we are going to be doing a book wrap up. If I seem like I'm a little annoyed, that's because I am re-recording this video because I was having issues with my mic. Hopefully it's okay and it's not doing what it was doing before, because I just filmed 2 videos and I'm really trying to hold it together. But anyways, I know it's been a minute since I've posted on here, but I'm really trying to get back into the groove of things and, get back to trying to post, because April was just not a good month for me at all. So, yeah, hopefully May will be a better month. Hopefully in May, I'll get myself back together. Well, I have my notes here. So, yeah, so the books that I read this month is I read Blood Like Magic, and then I also read Cinderella Is Dead, and then I did try and read Black Girl Unlimited, but I DNF Black Girl Unlimited. I just didn't finish it again. This is my second time DNFing this book, because last year I was supposed to read it. I read this book the beginning of last year. Honestly, was around no it was like January of last year, and I did not finish it. Just got uninterested, just got bored, and I was trying to read it again, and same thing happened. So I don't know if I'm gonna ever try it again. Maybe I should try audio, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm just gonna start with the first book, which is Blood Like Magic, because that's the first book I read. So Blood Like Magic, I'm going to give it 1 to 2 stars. I'm not really sure where I feel, but it's definitely 1 to 2 stars for me. What am I gonna say? Okay, let me just save that for later. Okay, so I'm going to give a brief synopsis of this, of Blood Like Magic. Blood Like Magic, I don't even remember who it's by. Leslie Samsbury, I think that's their name. Yeah, I think it's Leslie Samsbury. So a brief synopsis of this book. This book is about a girl named Boya, and she is 16 years old, and she is in this universe, in this book, this universe, they have a magic system where families have, they have magic, and magic is basically survival for them. It's like if you don't have magic, you're basically homeless. Some people get kicked out of their families, things as such. So in this universe, you are required to do a task from an ancestor. Well, an ancestor of yours. They give you a task to do, and if you pass said task, your family gets to keep their magic, and I think you are granted your gifts, your magical gifts. And if you fail said if you fail the task, then your family is stripped away of their magic, and I think you'll more than likely end up homeless, because in this universe, people use their magic in order to survive. It's like how they make their money, right? Kind of like capitalism, right? So that's kind of how it is in this book. And Boya is giving a task from her ancestor, and her ancestor basically tells her that she has to destroy her first love, right? And because because of the vague statement of you must destroy your first love, she takes that as she takes that as I have to unalive my first love. So she comes across this boy. I don't remember his name, but he is Mexican and transgender, and he's like really well known within one of these popular school universities within this book. And she tries to, befriend him and, you know, try to become a lover with him because they have similar genetic type of thing. And or some, it's either something about similar genetic or like similar mutation when it comes to like being in love or something like that. I don't really understand this magic system, but I'm like doing my best to try to help y'all understand. Um, but anyways, so yeah, so the journey is we are going to, you know, she's trying to destroy her first love so she can pass her task, because if she does not pass her task, it is said that her family would not only be stripped away of their magic, but her younger sister is also going to die. Yeah, that's kind of a brief synopsis. Spoiler alert. None of this really happens. When I say none of this really happens, I'm talking about in regards to her sister dying, and also the the vague statement. She took it a way she wasn't supposed to take it. So like, you know, you can, she interpreted it incorrectly. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of leave it at that, so I won't kind of spoil it, because I think I'm gonna spoil it when I start talking my trash. But yeah. So here's what I liked about the book. What I did like, I really did love the cover. I also really did like the black and POC representation in this book as well. I also really did like the Caribbean culture and like the food and traditions mentioned in this book, because Voya talked about, I think, is it Trinidadian? I don't remember, but it is Caribbean culture that is mentioned throughout this book. I also did like the Mexican culture also mentioned throughout this book in regards to the love interest. I don't remember their name, but yeah. That's all I really liked about the book. What I really did not like about the book is like, it was just so confusing to me. Like, I'm still really slick confused about a whole lot in terms of the plot and also in terms of this magic system. Like, I really did not like the magic system, because essentially blood like magic, right? Essentially Boya's family or whatever, their magic has to do with blood. It's not like blood bending type of teas like off of the Avatar, which would honestly make more sense and honestly would have been better for this story. But it's more so like they they bathe in the blood. You know, they have blood come out of their eyes, their, you know, mouth, you know, their hands and stuff like that, when they have like a, I don't remember what it's called, but they have some type of like thing that happens with their body when it comes to like that, with the magic thing, and that's what happens. So yeah, they kind of use their blood in order to, you know, do magical spells and magical things, right? But I honestly wish that we would have went the blood bending route. To me, it just would have been a lot more interesting. And what I also did dislike about this book is that there was no action. This book is 500 pages, and we ain't doing like, when we are doing a sci-fi fantasy book and you're giving me a magic system and you're giving me, oh, this person has this type of power, this person has this type of magical gift going on, I'm expecting to see some type of battle, some type of fight, some type of action, and we did not get that. We did not get that, and it's like, we could have did something with that, because if we have a cousin that can read minds, we have an aunt that can, you know, just have fire come out of their body, nobody was really doing much with their magical gifts. Like, I'm just not following. And Voya is also a loser as a character. Spoiler alert. What makes Voya a loser is that she really has no backbone, but she's also 16 years old. And like, what happened to like 16-year-olds like going to school? Like, I don't understand. I don't know. She okay, so what makes her a loser is instead of, doing what need to be done with the love interest, right? Instead, she decided to sacrifice her cousin. And I'm just like, I'm not going to say anything else in regards to her cousin because I don't want to spoil it. But like, she decided to sacrifice her cousin. And I'm just like, it was basically just like, you were basically being selfish by banning her into the house for the rest of her life and give this freedom to a guy she only knew for a few weeks. Like, am I supposed to like, what am I supposed to do with that? And there is a part 2 to this book, and I'm not reading it. I really don't want to read it because all it really is going to be is love interest turns into a villain because of things that happened within this book in regards to his father. And then, yeah, the only way I will read this book is if said cousin, I don't remember her name, that's why I'm calling her cousin, but if she decides to become a villain or an anti-hero, is the only way I'll read this book. Other than that, it's just a chop. And also, said cousin, she also had a twin, and they also had the same name, but it was pronounced differently, but they had the same name. Why are we doing that? What are we doing that for? Like, we're doing a lot. Like, this book was just doing a lot and nothing at the same time. It was just too much for me. It was just too much for me. Also, in regards to the ancestor thing, Voya's ancestor was 16 years old, right? She was a slave. So I'm just like, why are we taking tasks from another 16-year-old? You know what I mean? Like, am I really supposed to take you that serious? Like, I can't really take what? And then with the whole decision-making commentary, like, we could have did more with that commentary. You know what I mean? Like, in regards to, making a decision and how decision making can affect people around you and yourself, and how anxiety can be created around decision making, and how people feel pressured on making certain decisions because of the dichotomies and what other people say is right to do. You know what I mean? Like, we could have really expanded the commentary on that, but for me, it just fell short. Like, she just made a decision that she really shouldn't have made. Like, what would have happened if Voya did not make a decision? You know what I mean? Because not making a decision is also a decision. So it's kind of like, because eventually we found out, certain things that Voya thought was going to happen was not going to happen because she interpreted the statement wrong. So what would have happened if she did not make a decision? You see what I'm saying? It was just doing a lot. It was just doing a lot. It was just very disappointing for me because the cover is just so, I just love that cover. Like, I love the cover of the book, the family, the plot, and the synopsis of the book is in its entirety is what made me want to read it, because it all just sounded so like it was just gonna be something for me to eat. You know what I mean? But like, it just didn't. It didn't do all that for me. It just didn't. But yeah, and also, what the hell is a hack me? Now, I know in certain, sci-fi fantasy books that they have their own, language and terms, but like, you could have just used a curse word. Like, we could have just used a curse word. Like, because that hack me, I'm just like, what? Anyway, next book I read is Cinderella Is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. This will be my second this should be my second Kaylin Barron book. I don't think I've read any other Barron books. Yeah, the first one I read is This Poison Heart, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed that book. I do plan on reading the second part of that book this year, but Cinderella Is Dead is what I read, and I'm gonna give Cinderella Is Dead 4 stars. I really did enjoy this book. It was a fun time for me. So a brief synopsis of Cinderella Is Dead. It is about this girl named Sophia, and she lives in this town, in this universe where it's very patriarchal, very archaic in their beliefs when it comes to men and women. So in this universe, young girls are required to go to this ball, I think when they hit a certain age. And at this ball, they must find their husband. And if they don't, I think they are sent away to like either be executed or prison or something like that. Something like that. I don't, but it's something harsh like that. And Sophia is different. She's always been different. And she has this friend named Erin, and she wants to plan to run away with Erin and, be with her. And Erin decides that she does not want to run away with her. She thinks that it's best to, stay in the situation she's in. And she also got picked, so she has a husband now. And Sophia, she really didn't, well, she ran away, but she got kicked out. She got kicked out by her parents, well, mostly her dad, and she decided to, run away. And along the way, she comes across this girl named Constance. And Constance is one, okay, so one of her ancestors are related to Cinderella. And in this particular story, Cinderella is portrayed as this damsel in distress, and the king in this book is portrayed as the savior, right? And it's portrayed that he, saved Cinderella, and Cinderella, passed away from this thing or whatever. And Constance has a journal of truth of what actually happened to Cinderella and her sisters and what that situation was actually. But because the story was twisted to benefit the king and to benefit men, they want to take that journal and present it to the people in that town so they know the truth, so they know that the society that they live in is fraudulent and that the king is fraudulent and all that stuff, right? So they come across this witch, fairy godmother. She's a witch. Her name is Amina, and they ask Amina to, kind of help them with that. And yeah, we kind of go along the journey of that. And within the plan, they also plan to rise Cinderella from the dead so they can get information out of her. So that is kind of like the synopsis of that book. Basically overturning a king and all that stuff. What I really liked about this book was the retelling. I loved the retelling of this book. Like, when we talk about retellings, this is how you do a retelling. Like, this is how you do a retelling. You don't just take a story and just like give me the same story but implement your own characters. Like, you need to give me something different. You know what I mean? Like, you have to give me something different. You know what I mean? And Cinderella Is Dead did exactly that, and I really enjoyed that. I also love the characters. Sophia was a little annoying in the beginning, but she's kind of likable. Constance seems like a badass character. Really did enjoy her. I also did kind of enjoy Amina too, and her and Constance having that little banter they were doing, like kind of like the old lady versus like the teenagers. You know what I mean? It was just kind of cute and funny to me. Um also I really did like Luke, and I also wish that we got a little more of Luke, because he was in the beginning of the story, but I also was interested in his story with like how he got in trouble with being with the boy and how they found out and stuff like that. Like, kind of wish we got a little bit more of that. But yeah, I also liked how this book tackled homophobia and heteronormative stuff and patriarchy and all. Like, I really enjoyed the book's commentary on that. I love the black and POC representation. I enjoyed the LGBTQ representation. Um, Plot twist. I honestly did enjoy the plot twist. Like, it did get me. It did get me. Now, most of the time, I'm not like a big fan of plot twists, because sometimes it just be falling short, and I just be like, was this really a plot twist? Like, it didn't really give. But this ate me up. This plot twist did eat me up, so I'm not even gonna sit here and lie like it didn't, because it did. But yeah, I did enjoy the plot twist. Talk about what I did not like. This is not really a big deal, but I really did wish we did get a little bit more character development. This book is 380 something pages, so like, but here's the thing. If we could get like a prequel, another book of what happened with Cinderella and her sisters and the king, that would eat for me. That would eat for me. Or if we get like a prequel and then we get a sequel, you know what I mean? And we get to talk about like the people who are against the new system, trying to take it down, you know what I mean? And we get to know Sophia, Constance, Luke a little more. That would eat for me. I hope we could get that, because that will honestly do it for me. A prequel and a sequel. We need a prequel and a sequel of this book. But yeah, so if we could get that, then I don't really care about the character development type thing. Not that much, but a little bit. And also, I want to talk about the white people on Goodreads that's been rating this book. White people on Goodreads that have been rating this book like 2 and 1. Like, I said this before, white people rating, like, I'm not saying that you're supposed to like, if you don't like a book by a black author, that you're racist. I'm not saying that, but some of y'all who be saying y'all don't like a certain book by a black author, and y'all give y'all reasonings as to why y'all don't like it, it be giving me KKK. It be giving me KKK, because I'll be looking in the comments and then it be all y'all white people in there agreeing, and it's just like, y'all reasonings for not liking it, it don't be making sense. I saw somebody on Goodreads said that they gave it like a 2 or 3 because the author talked about patriarchy too much. Huh? Like, they were like, it was too many scenes about the men being aggressive towards women. That's the point of the book. Like, y'all reasonings for like giving a book low stars and stuff, it just don't be making sense for me. Like, it just be giving me racist, anti-black. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's all I have to say in regards to that. I do recommend Cinderella Is Dead. I don't recommend Blood Like Magic. I'm sorry, I don't. Book that I did not finish is going to be Black Girl Limited by Echo Brown. See, the thing is, this book is not like, okay, this book is not like a sci-fi fantasy book. It's kind of like this, it's kind of told from a point of view of a small child talking about how their parent seem like a magical being because they make things happen and they don't know how, right? That's kind of what this book is, but like, I'm not really engaged that much. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really engaged that much. So yeah, I don't have any rating for it. I really want to give this book another try, or maybe try something else by Echo Brown, because I don't know. I was only like 7 chapters in, but it's just not interesting. Like, I don't know, it's just not doing it for me. I think it's just me. Because what I'm thinking this book is going to do is talking about, you know, how my mom is a wizard and how she just make things happen for me and my siblings. And even though she's a single mom, she still make things happen for my siblings. Like, it just looks like magic. And I'm a 6-year-old child, and this just looks like magic to me. You know what I mean? It's kind of going that route. But I don't know. I really want to give it another try. So I think I'm going to give it another try. Maybe I'll do an audio. Maybe that'll help. But yeah. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a like. And also, if you read any of these books, please comment down below. Share your thoughts. Share your opinions. What you like. What you dislike. And if you have any book recommendations for me, please put those in the comments down below. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
This is a good twist.
Yo!